Hello, I'm Tom, and welcome to Cook TV.
And I'm also Tom.
Splash Screen Team.
Also Dave.
I'm going to hand over to Tom this introduction because we're going to talk about a topic today that he seems to like to get annoyed about.
Syria.
Over to you, Tom. Over to you, Tom.
Right. I'm at the moment really annoyed by Syria. Not by Syria itself. I mean, obviously, there's
the Syria and Middle East conflict.
Yes, the conflict at the moment.
One of the many Middle Eastern conflicts.
One of all 300. Basically, let's start at the top. Basically, when Russia decided to send troops in, everybody got annoyed at them for no reason, even though we're doing it ourselves. So, I was actually pro-Russia going in because, let's face it, and you were as well, weren't you? You were
No, I said that if the West are going to do it with America and Britain, then Russia should have the right to do military interventions in countries too.
Yes. Now,
that's what we're saying.
I think it's fair to do the same thing. Now, but there's a problem. I think it's about 2,000 children dead already. Children, not just adults and grown civilians. Children already. So that's the downside of it. However, they're combating IS or ISIS, whatever how they're called.
Daesh. Well, I'm just calling them ISIS because that's what they are.
Can they be? What if they're funded by Apple? I can't.
Anyway, carry on, Tom. Talk about the Russian jet. Talk about World War III, please.
So the Russian jet. Basically, Turkey shot down a Russian jet that was in their airspace in 17 seconds. And then, when they actually shot it down, it wasn't in Turkish airspace, it was in Syrian airspace.
Right, essentially, so there were two Russian planes flying on Turkey's southernmost tip. They were in flight for an hour and 50 minutes total. Turkey claims that both planes were warned 10 times over a space of 5 minutes on an emergency radio channel. Following, both planes disregarded the warnings and flew 1.36 miles. Basically, they flew around 2 miles into Turkey for 17 seconds. Following the violation, supposed violation, the first plane left Turkish national airspace, and plane 2 was fired at whilst still in Turkey's national airspace. So essentially, it was shot at 17 seconds into the border, which I suppose is fair enough, but I wouldn't shoot someone 17 seconds into a border unless you have a major city 2 minutes into a border.
Which I believe they don't.
I don't know. I don't think they do.
I believe they don't.
But
could be wrong.
Basically, Mr. Putin. But the Russians claim that the Su-24, the Su-24, which was the plane, was 0.6 miles from Syria's border with Turkey when it was hit, and it crashed 4 kilometers from the border, in Syria's side of the border. The Russian Defense Forces insisted that the aircraft remained within Syria's borders throughout the mission, did not violate Turkish airspace whatsoever. So it's essentially one man's word versus another. Now there was one pilot that survived, but obviously the first. Oh no, didn't one of the crash pilots survive?
No, they were shot. They were killed by
the Kurds, wasn't it?
Moderate rebels.
Okay, well the ones that survived in the first plane claims that there were no warnings whatsoever. So that's that. Make of that what you will. Over to you, for your advice.
Basically, I'm annoyed at the entire situation because of the hypocriticalness of it all.
Actually, the United States are in defence of Russia in this situation. US officials said it was unlawful.
What a surprise!
You can talk and I'll find the quote.
What I'm also we look so professional with the Spider-Man in the background. Our hero, everyone. But anyway, I'm annoyed at the hypocriticalness of it all. First off, apparently we're allowed to bomb Syria, but Russia aren't.
Well, actually, no, we're not even allowed to bomb Syria right now.
Oh, at the moment. Oh, yes. Sorry, America / France, I believe Germany as well are allowed to bomb Syria, but Russia aren't because they're Russia apparently. Apparently they're Russia, yes, but no. Personally,
I'm trying to find the US official.
I'm not pro bombing, but I'm pro giving them the right to bomb if we're doing it as well, and other countries are as well. However, I'm still against the bombing as a whole. However, personally, it wouldn't surprise. Now, a few years ago, I think it was about a year ago, we were insisting on funding the rebels to take down al-Assad prior to the supposed chemical attacks. And Mr. Cameron wanted to support the local groups, and let's not say terrorist groups, including ISIS, including them.
Well, before they were ISIS.
Before they were at to the level they were. Thankfully, the bill wasn't passed. We didn't support them. However, many countries, supposedly including Turkey, Saudi Arabia, did. Now, my advice is that we completely cut any funding whatsoever to any of these. We slash foreign aid to them specifically and spend it elsewhere.
Maybe on our own country.
If need be, yes. But again, foreign aid, cut it from their place, send it to a place that really needs it. For example, maybe Nepal, which are in quite a horrible situation at the moment. Now, personally, I think we shouldn't do any trading.
I'm sorry,
Saudi Arabia.
can I just interrupt you?
Yes.
I can't get out this graph to show you, but if you're going to the BBC website and look at Turkey, what they know about the Turkey's bombing the Russian plane, go down to see the map of where Russian and the US-led airstrikes are in Syria, and it's ridiculous as to how close together they in fact are. This was inevitable. If you look here, look at the al-Suhur, blue and double red. Blue is the Americans, red was the Russians. They are literally right on top of each other. That's right. That was one of the arguments against Russia getting involved. The fact that they didn't think that they would be interested in a coalition. So I think Cameron is trying to push for a full coalition with the Russians on certain targets, because otherwise we're just going to bomb each other. But sorry, that was just a guy who annoyed me. You can carry on.
Yes. We have to be careful where all the troops are spaced. That's why I would say diplomatic. We should all talk with each other. It's just common sense. Now.
Okay, so let's give you some sort of background as to where the key countries stand on Syria. Russia supports Russia.
Sorry, I do apologise. But just, we are reading things from the BBC now. If things turn to be
wrong, it's not our fault.
Blame the BBC, basically. Be a Nigel.
Be a Nigel, yeah. Okay, so Russia supports Bashar al-Assad, essentially, and has blocked resolutions critical of al-Assad at the United Nations Security Council.
May I say something?
Go on,
now, al-Assad, as all of the controversies come out, obviously, the chemical gassing.
He has killed a multitude of his own people.
Oh yeah, so I did know that. However, first off, it made no sense for him to kill his own people, as, again, he, at that point where he supposedly killed some people, I don't know if he did, I don't know if he didn't.
No, we know he has killed hundreds of thousands.
He probably has.
Thousands of his own people. We know that for a fact.
That's true.
Because they are in a civil war, so we have to.
That's right, yeah. It's just, it's not the smart thing to do, but it's not the not smart thing to do. Basically, when he now, personally, I'm very conspiracy theory, giving it some full half right now. But I'm not completely convinced he actually used chemical weapons on his own people. There's literally zero evidence to prove so. Other than what supposed people. I know the UK did a wonderful report on it. However, that report was filed from within the United Kingdom, so we have no evidence, zero.
So we're not sure whether or not they did or didn't use chemical weapons, which is obviously violation of some sort of the rights to warfare, whatever.
The US have used them on their own citizens.
Well, nobody knows that either.
That's true. Well, except for the Well, it depends what you classify exactly as chemical weapons.
What do you classify as chemical weapons? What are you thinking of?
It's a variation of gas canister, but it's lethal, and they used 2 of those in Baltimore.
According to,
I believe was.
So no one actually knows. So you're saying you're moaning about how there's no evidence on the.
Yeah, but there's no evidence on that. But I'm just saying, that's why I said supposedly.
That's why you're conspiracy lefty nuts. Right. Anyway.
Yes.
So
But we're just saying, at the moment, Assad is doing his best to bring stability to the region. Now, I'm no supporter of Assad or Putin. I
personally think Assad should step down.
I don't. He's probably the best they have at the moment.
Step down and have a general election if he can stand there, and if he gets voted in.
After
all you settle on this. But I have a fear with all these troubled regions. It will work for all regions, but it might work for some. I think it'll work mostly in the African regions, the Central African regions, not necessarily the North African, more Islamic-based regions. The Central African regions, what you do is you take them out of the countries where the corruption runs rampant and stuff like this, and you put them in the United Nations' hands. You give the UN more power, and you don't have the countries in charge. You have a board, like for example, like Ban Ki-moon and Hillary, like a group, and they won't be in control of the government, but they'll help a government end corruption, spend correctly, and stuff like this. And essentially, they'll run the government jointly. These can be elected by the UN representatives or whatever.
Personally, I think as long as the country democratically elect its own. We set out a thing that could lead possibly to puppet dictators.
No, what you do is the board changes every 5 years. So they're forced to hold general elections, these African countries, every 5 years, or 4 years, like the Brits do. And every time the government changes.
No, 4 years, isn't it?
No, America's 4, Britain is 4 to 5, depending on when it's. But the Tories brought in fixed elections. But basically, with these Trump nations, you'd have not the same year as the election, but a year or two after, you would have a UN board election, and that would be voted in by the UN. So like you'd have like the British ambassador to the United Nations would then go work with the African stuff like this.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that is something I've always thought about. You know, it might help these Trump regions, but then as Tom was about to say, it could then lead to more corruption. But if you change the board every few years, they might not be as corrupt. But obviously that is then something that you have to leave open.
You also have the problem with that is what if you get 1 year completely someone who lets, for example, board which is on the far left, and then the board which is on the far right.
It won't necessarily be all that political. It'll all to be with they have to enact the government the government who's elected by the people, their mandate, their manifesto. But the whole point is trying to end corruption, end any civil wars by bringing stability. For example, it would work best with coalition.
Would you say
governments.
we would also send in peacekeepers?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of UN peacekeepers. I think they do. Out of all the current armies of the world, like NATO's, the UN peacekeepers, the blue hats, do the best work. I would actually send more British troops and.
I've not done enough research into them.
But UN, like Syria and a lot of unstable regions in Africa, I think they do brilliant work there. Obviously, you do have some bad ones, but that's just soldiers. But back to our original point, the US has accused Assad of widespread atrocities and all that bollocks like he's gone through.
The US have never committed any atrocities. No.
And the US support Syria's main opposition alliance, the National Coalition, who I don't know anything about.
I mean, just say about it when it comes to atrocities, they didn't bomb hospitals, just saying, America, just saying.
They have a program to train around 5,000 Syrian rebels to take the fight to IS. To create the fight. Their program to train around 5,000 rebels to take on ISIS has suffered embarrassing setbacks, with few haven't even reached the front lines. Or Saudi Arabia, when I cough. Okay, you talk about Saudi Arabia. Go.
Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia. I think they try. They are. I think they're at the moment they're giving. I think it's a 500 lashes to someone who compared them to ISIS, and
but that's just like
that's being ISIS.
That's just Sharia law.
Exactly.
You're not really going into that.
Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now, Saudi Arabia. My feelings are pretty clear. I dislike their government. No, not the actual people themselves, but certainly the government. If you excuse my French, fucking terrible. As through law, all of the, executions, torture, things like that, and not the good kind of torture. Well, not the good. No torture is good, but I know we differ from torture anyway. But
the westernised torture, where you may actually get some sort of information out of it.
This is just evil torture.
But
with no
regardless of that, the Sunni-run Gulf Kingdom. So obviously they're the Sunni arm of Islam.
May I say Saudi Arabia possibly. Well, actually, through Putin released all the information you released, they are inadvertently funding ISIS. It's
supposed to be.
According to
it says by here, they later agreed to take part in the US-led coalition air campaign against ISIS.
They're finally doing that.
They've been bombing ISIS since earlier this year.
They were, yes, but they're finally actually in the bloody coalition.
So they basically are with the US. Obviously, Saudi Arabia is a massive US backer.
Although they're still, selling oil. So
the Turks
was it Turkey who's selling oil?
It's Turkey. I'm sure it's Turkey. The Turks have been a staunch critic of Mr. Assad since the start of the uprising in Syria. Their president, I can't say his name, said it was impossible for Syrians to accept a dictator who has led to the deaths of up to 350,000 people.
Bold claim?
Well, I've heard that repeated by multitude of people.
Bold claim.
Turkey's a key supporter of the Syrian opposition, faced the burden of hosting almost 2 million refugees. But its policy of allowing rebel fighters, arms, shipments and refugees to pass through its country has been exploited by foreign jihadists wanting to join IS. Turkey agreed to let the US-led coalition against IS use its airbase for strikes. And it's been critical of coalition support for the Syrian Kurdish Popular Protection Unit, an affiliate of the banned Turkish Kurdistan Workers' Party, the PKK, deemed a terrorist group by the Turkey, the European Union and the United States.
Basically, this has gone perfect for Turkey so far, until Russia.
And the last country, which is Iran, Obviously, Britain is part of the. It hasn't got airstrikes to Syria at the minute, so we're not on here.
They're pro Assad, I believe.
UK or to or
Iran.
Iran regional Shia, so same as the Saudis. Power Iran is believed to spend believed to be spending billions of dollars this year to prop up President Assad and his Al-Dawati dominated government, providing military advisors and subsidised weapons as well as lines of credit and oil transfers. You'll read the rest of it.
Mr. Assad is Iran's closest Arab ally, and Syria is the main transport for Iranian weapon shipments to the Lebanese Shia Islamist movement Hezbollah. Iran is also believed to be
influential in Hezbollah's decision to send fighters to western Syria to assist pro-Assad forces.
Militiamen from Iran and Iraq who say they are protecting Shia holy sites are also fighting alongside Syrian troops. Iran has proposed a peaceful transition in Syria that will culminate in free multi-party elections. It was involved in peace talks over Syria's future for the first time when the powers met in Vienna. Now, Iran are having a small tiff. Iran at the moment are having a small tiff with, believe it or not, Israel.
Why?
Yeah, no, there's no reason there. But now, the reason being is Israel. I don't know whether or not listed here personally, as they're quite big and important.
No, they're not. They're tiny, Israel.
Yeah, well, actually, quite important. They're
not really important. They'll come under the. If they're doing coalitions, they'll come under the United States.
But they are supporting the rebels, I believe. Israel.
Probably. Well, they are. Israel is the US's biggest ally, so they'll support the rebels.
Israel support the rebels. Well, the biggest. They're not really a big ally to the US. They basically the US give them a bunch of money, basically. But anyway, Israel are in a tiff with Iran as Iran are supporting Assad and Israel don't like Assad for whatever. I believe it's because I believe it's because Assad is quite secularist.
It comes down to the Arab Jew split. Arab Jew split. Sorry, no, Muslim Jew split.
This is a weird situation because I am in some ways secularist, in some ways not secularist. I'm secularist as long as it doesn't impede in anyone's right to have a religion and to be able to openly share their religion.
In other words, you're not a French secularist.
I'm not French secularist.
Or Swiss.
Or Swiss. No, it's well, you know my feelings towards that. And now,
if any of you don't know, France has a secularist constitution, which means they can't. Technically, America does too. So the American constitution says that they shouldn't adopt a religion, although they do. And obviously, the French just have a constitution so dominated by secularism that they have banned the hijab and any sort of wearing of religious items in the public.
Is ridiculous. Now, obviously there are problems with secularism as there are with having a fully religious state, e.g. Saudi Arabia.
Or
Iran. Or Israel. Now.
Or America.
Or America, yeah, that's a fair point. Now. Oh, so this is off topic, but something that irritates me is when people say, oh no, there's no racism in America, we have a black president. Oh no, of course, yeah. He's one. There are many, many others, but sorry, I just hate that argument. But anyway, yeah, that's basically it, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah. So essentially, oh no, hang on, one last point, right? I proposed this series to quite a few people now. I don't think I've said it in any videos yet, but when I look at the world today, and I'm not obviously an international expert, so I may be wrong on a few points, but I can see it all sort of breaking up into different sort of regions. You've got the western sort of regions like Australia, America, Canada.
Is that Tartarus? Sorry.
Australia, America, Canada, New Zealand, Britain, the European Union as a whole, all the big players in the European Union, and to an extent now Russia, all working as one, like it was in World War One, apart from obviously Germany on the other side. So that's one big group. Then you've got the South America and the less sort of wealthier regions, who presumably, if something like this does break out, in my hypothesis would be working as another group, or they'll join our group. But the South American government's quite similar, aren't they? And then you've got the communist bloc, which
the communist bloc,
or the Eastern bloc, which if Russia isn't part of our bloc, it'll be Russia, Cuba, China, possibly North Korea.
Oh God.
And probably Syria and places like that, Iran.
Syria definitely would.
Then you have the Middle Eastern bloc, which I think would be I think Israel will come off and join the Western Bloc.
Yes.
Then the Middle Eastern Bloc will be separated by the Islamic Shia Sunni divide.
Isn't it Shia?
Shia, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Apologies, I'm saying it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Shia. SHIAA.
Oh, Shia.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter,
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
matter.
Shia Sunni divide, which
Let's
is
hope we don't get killed.
which is like Protestant and Catholic divide. So that will be dominated by that. I think anyway, personally, because it's quite big, like the Protestant and Catholic divide is. So those will be dominated by that, and the different countries will go off into their coalitions, and it'll essentially be like World War One, with the world dominated into big, massive gangs, and
Basically.
the West will probably dominate it anyway because we're the richest.
We are the richest, and we have America.
And we have the biggest guns, especially if Russia joins the Western Bloc. We'll definitely dominate it.
God, and China as well, actually.
And China, yeah, because obviously Britain and China are getting closer together now. So that's that, basically. That's our
It's also
final.
that more Britain sucking up to China at the moment.
Well, actually, because China's been trying to get into the West for ages, and
That's very true.
Britain basically said, if you tone down your human rights abuses,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
let you use the City of London banking facilities. So that's essentially it. Basically, Britain and Russia struck a deal. Russia's slowly strapping down human rights abuses. I think soon enough they may even abolish their one-party state, which may well come. That was abolished
Good.
for the Civil War after was it after World War II or the 50s or 60s, was
I
it?
believe it's the 60s.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Sometime after World War II, and with the communists beat the capitalists, and the one-party state erupted. But yeah, that's essentially that. That's a comment report on the video. But yeah, this has been Cook TV with Splash Greenslade.
Thank you for watching.
Here is his face. And
Here's his.
goodbye.
Bye.